M4 or AK? That was one of the biggest decisions we had to make as Legionnaires when deciding which unit we would deploy with on the front line. Some units had the AK, some had the M4, and a few units had the SCAR, I believe, or the HK-16. I ended up going with the AK-74, as you can see here. This is what my unit was issued when we ended up just before we deployed to the front line. It shoots a 5.45 by 39 round, which is just a nasty little cartridge. It's good at armor piercing or penetration, and it's fast as hell. With that said, in this video, I want to go over why I chose the AK, the benefits, pros, and cons of both the M4 and the AK, and some other cool weapons I saw out there on the front line. Before we get started, subscribe for me, drop a like, you're going to like this. So as I mentioned before, by far the most prevalent rifles out there are the M4, like you see here, and also the AK-74. These are the two most popular rifles in Ukraine right now for two reasons. The Ukrainian armed forces have been donated hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of M4s by this point from all of its international partners, the US, France, Great Britain. As for the AK-74, it was one of the most mass-produced rifles in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And since Ukraine was still a part of Russia during the Soviet era, they had massive amounts of these AK-74s in storage. Now, those were the most common assault rifles that I noticed were being used in Ukraine, but in every platoon there was multiple light machine guns, and it was almost always between these three. The first and most surprising to me was the MG3, the German-made light machine gun made in the 1950s. Even though it's a 70-year-old design and pretty damn heavy, this thing lays down some serious firepower considering it shoots a 7.62 by 51 round. Now, by far the most common LMG out there is the RPK. This is basically the AK-74 on steroids. One of the reasons it's so popular is because it shoots the same round as the AK-74. They all shoot the 5.45 by 39 round. So before going on mission, you only really have to worry about bringing one ammo type. The RPK can also take the AK magazine. It's also lighter in weight than most LMGs. The fact that you can share ammo with this LMG if you're running an AK-74 is great, but in my opinion, I'd prefer my LMG gunner to be shooting some bigger rounds. Enter the M240 Bravo. Used by the United States Army and Marine Corps, the M240 is a tried and tested all-purpose machine gun. Just like the MG3, this machine gun shoots a 7.62 by 51 round, which packs a much bigger punch than the RPK rounds. The only downfalls are it's heavy as hell, and your entire fire team will need to help carry the extra rounds for this machine gun. But if I had a brute of a machine gunner, I'd give him this every time. Now, getting back to the M4 versus the AK debate. As I mentioned before, I chose the AK for multiple reasons. The first and probably most obvious reason is the fact that AKs are known to be extremely durable. They can get dirty, they can get hot, they can be frozen, they can be underwater, and they will always fire. It's pretty incredible. And since I was in Ukraine throughout the winter, I knew my rifle would be getting wet and dirty and muddy. To give you an idea what I'm talking about, this is my AK during a mission. I actually had to remove my suppressor because it became so packed with mud I was afraid that it wouldn't fire if I needed it to. Now, M4s are known to be pretty reliable as well, but nothing like the AK. Most M4s, if they get a little bit dirty, they will not fire. Now, aside from the durability, I also chose the AK because I knew running out of ammo would not be as much of a concern. The majority of Russian units and Ukrainian units are shooting 5.45 by 39, just like I am. So I knew if I was in a pinch, I could probably find some ammo nearby. You cannot say the same for 5.56 with the M4. 5.56 ammo was much less common to come by on the front line. If you're using 5.56 ammo during a mission and you run out of ammo, you better hope you brought some grenades, because coming across some 5.56 ammo is not very likely. Also, during Legion training, we used the AK-74, so I became much more familiar with that rifle over the M4. But there were a lot of United States military vets in the Legion, and they refused to use anything but the M4. They loved it because they knew it. Those are the biggest reasons why I ended up choosing a unit that was using an AK instead of the M4. Let me know in the comments below which one you would choose. Aside from assault rifles and LMGs, it was imperative to bring some kind of anti-tank or anti-vehicle launcher with you. In this clip of me riding in the back of a pickup truck during an exfil, you can see that I'm sitting on about 4 bull spikes. Bull spikes are anti-tank single-use rocket launchers, and they were definitely the most common, at least in my platoon. I also saw a lot of LAWs and RPG-7s, of course. Another crucial piece of gear to keep on you during a mission was grenades. Using grenades to clear trenches and foxholes is an extremely common tactic out there. Bringing 5 or 6 RGD-5 grenades with you on a mission was not uncommon. Some guys would even trade their cigarettes for grenades. That's how important they were out there. Out of all the weapons I listed in this video, I only used a couple of them, but my absolute favorite was the M320 grenade launcher. It shoots the old trusty 40 Mike grenades, and it is a blast to use. No pun intended. All right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments what else you guys want to see. Appreciate all the love lately on the videos, and I will catch you in the next one.